you for joining us and celebrating this global ecosystem report, where we'll be finding out who are the winners this year and which ecosystems are leading in terms of the best ecosystems for startups. So please, if you haven't downloaded the report, you can download it at lp.startupblink.com/report. Feel free to leave your details on the chat, introduce yourself. And you can also say where you're from. Maybe Ellie can touch on the key insights of your ecosystems as well later on. So just a preview of the agenda for today. We will start with an introduction about the report by Gers, followed by some key insights from Ellie, and then quickly followed, we will be celebrating some amazing ecosystems today, hearing about their ecosystems from ecosystem developers. And so yeah. Ellie, how are you?
Great, thank you, Catherine. Hi there. Really excited. This is a good launch day for us, and it's great to launch the report. Yeah, we encourage everyone to maybe, if you want, share with us in the chat, send to everyone. Where are you from? What are you working on? And we can maybe even tell you a little bit, if we can, about the result for your country, for your city. So feel free to do that. We'll wait 2 more minutes for people to arrive. In the meantime, feel free once again to use the chat to introduce yourself. And that's it. Yeah, it's really exciting day for us. Every year we're launching this report since 2017. So it's many, many years now. And, and we're hoping a lot of you can use this report to basically make decisions about where to relocate, where to invest, whatever your activities are. I think it's very important generally. I think we can probably move to Gers. So Gers will give us a quick introduction about the report, what more than anything about the data. How did we do the rankings of 1,000 cities and 100 countries? And then I'll try to tell you a little bit about the key results from the report. And then later on, we'll have, of course, the pitches, the ecosystem pitches. So that's always exciting. That's great. We have one courageous volunteer that so Stanislav, thank you for presenting us from Belarus. Belarus actually this year has seen a smaller decline than previous years. We had actually Belarus decreasing quite a lot in the last years, but now it's getting better. I think Minsk even improved this year. So good to connect with you. Anyone else that want to present themselves, feel free. We're going to keep the chat open probably for about 5 minutes. And just take it for you.
Great. Thank you very much, Ellie. Thank you to you too, Catherine. And welcome to everybody that has joined us today for the launch of this exciting report. Basically, my name is Gers Fisman. I am the data manager and report editor for this year. And I will be giving a small introduction of the report, our methodology, how we rank the ecosystems, and then I'm going to give the floor back to Eli so he can give a few major insights of countries and cities before going to the pitches of the ecosystems. Okay. If you haven't yet downloaded the report, please do at lp.startupblink.com/report. That's the landing page, and you need to insert your email, and then you'll be able to download it. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so basically a little bit about the Global Startup Ecosystem Index. We have been making the GSEI, as we call it, since 2017. So it's been a few years already in which we are working on this, and we are, of course, each year improving it a little bit. As you might know, we work together with dozens of data partners and ecosystem partners around the world to get the data we need, which is a lot. to run our algorithm and present the rankings every year as precise as it's humanly possible. So some of these partners would be on the data side, Crunchbase or SEMrush, and then many ecosystem partners, some of which we have here on the governments, corporations, on or multilateral organizations. We basically use a database of more than 150K startups and other organizations like accelerators, co-working spaces, and so on, investors to calculate our rankings. So it's a massive effort, and this database is updated quarterly. So we have the most updated database possible when running the formula to calculate the rankings, right? And yeah, basically we rank hundreds of countries and thousands of cities around the world. And on the report, you can see the top 100 countries and the top 1,000 cities. Okay, that's a little bit about the report. About our methodology, we basically rank them by total score, both cities and countries. Okay, we have this the algorithm, and uh, we give the total score, and the total score is basically divided in quantity score, quality score, and business score. The quantity score is trying to answer how much by saying how many startups we have in a location, how many investors, how many accelerators, and so on. The quality, how good it is, the traction of the top startups, traffic, funding raised by startups, valuation of unicorns, exits, and many more parameters that we have. And then the business score is how easy it is to do a startup on a certain place. Mostly country level parameters. They include ease of doing business, cost of internet speed, internet cost, level of English, corporate tax, and so on. So you get more or less the idea. We have more than 30 parameters that we use to run this algorithm. And we also don't only rank at the global level, but we also rank by industry. So we assign an industry to each startup, and one of 11 industries, and then we also assign one of 91 sub industries, and we can get rankings of industries and sub-industries at the global, at regional, and so on. So that's more or less our methodology. Thank you very much for this. You can download the report at lp.startuplink.com/report. You can contact me whenever you want, gers@startuplink.com. It's a pleasure for us to answer any questions that anyone may have. And yeah, back to Ellie on the key insights of the report. Thanks.
Thank you, Gareth. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the key insights. Before that, let me just share a quick presentation about what we're up to. So just a second. Yeah, the idea is to basically talk a little bit about the report itself. I do want to say a few thanks for the team here and StartupBlink. Basically, this thing was led by Gareth, by Katrine. Gareth is doing the data, Katrine is doing the project management, and also Shane Gould, the lead writer. So a lot of people have worked for a few months, actually for 10 months, on iterations and so on. So all of us would have the best results possible. You can make decisions based on this. This is actually a very accurate and good system to rank ecosystems. And let's talk a little bit about why it's important. Just like Ger said, we have a lot of partners for this report. We could not have done it on our own. So just to mention Crunchbase, SEMrush, Statista, among others, there are so many that help. There are also more than 100 governments that contribute the data in order for their ecosystem to be reflected in the best way possible. So it's been a pleasure to work with all of them. As a side note, it's really nice to work with governments that are interested in developing their ecosystem most of us are in ecosystems where the governments don't really care so much. So it's actually very nice to see that there are some governments that understand the importance of ecosystems. And yeah, just to talk a little bit about, I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief before the report, just to tell you that why startup ecosystems are so important. So first of all, for the startups themselves, the place where one chooses to build their startup is going to have massive impact on their chance of success. The reason why most of the unicorns are in less than 10% of the cities of the population size. Like all the unicorns are in the same places in a way. The reason is that when you go to a winner place, a place that is winning, everything becomes easier. Absolutely everything becomes easier. And this is something that we always tell people that are business-wise, three big questions. What are you working on? Who are you working with? And where do you choose to be? And a lot of us are not paying enough attention to where do we choose to be. The dividends on choosing to be in the right place are simply amazing, and they have to be taken into account. Those are the places that have the investors, the amazing co-founders, the team members, the suppliers, the clients, the emotional support, the know-how. Many things are happening there. So that's why startups should be and founders should be very cautious about their selection of location. For the governments themselves and the economies, startups are the economies of the future. They will be the economic engine of the future. So the idea is very clear for the startups to get it, that actually they should invest a lot of efforts in the developing of their startup economy. It's anti-fragile. It will sustain wars. It will sustain pandemics and so on and so on. This is really the future of our economies if we want to be a winning, successful economy. So there are so many reasons to basically do this ranking, and we're really happy that a lot of people are using it to make decisions and to understand also how good are they doing. So that's something. Before we actually start, let me share with you just a quick note on the product itself, on how people usually use StartupBlink. I'll talk in a second about the report, which is very interesting. It's 350 pages. But let's talk a little bit about how to use StartupBlink. So the idea is as following. First of all, you do have interactive um, uh, ranking tables. You can switch between countries and cities and so on in startupblink.com. If you go to startupblink.com, you will see massive ranking tables. You can choose how much do you want to see in the rows. You can go between pages. For pro users, we have more advanced capabilities, like Ger said, of choosing industry and seeing the rankings across industries, regions, population, see how they evolve during the year. So the ranking tables are pretty interesting. The map is also open for you. A lot of it is open. There are more than 150,000 startups and many tens of thousands of other type of entities. This is the underlying information, and the platform is open. Basically, go to the homepage and click on the map icon, and you can view the map and zoom in, zoom out, and so on and so on. Also, there are dashboards for each one of the cities in the country. So we're talking about thousands of dashboards. Dashboards are interesting because they give you a lot of information about what's going on currently in the city, in the country, and those parameters that Gerst has told us about in the rankings, they all appear here. So you can actually see them in the dashboard. You have a comprehensive analysis of thousands of locations about what is the weak spot, what is the good spot, and so on and so on. A lot of people are using this for decision making and understanding how to develop their ecosystem, what is missing, and so on and so on. The dashboards also have a database of their startups, unicorn startups, exits, and so on and so on. If you click on one of them, you can go to the startup page, and the startup page now in StartupBlink has also ranking itself for the startups themselves. So you will see over here that this startup, for example, is also a unicorn, is ranked 7th in Singapore. Where is it ranked regionally in Southeast Asia? Where is it ranked within its industry, and so on and so on? Where is it ranked globally? and also with a few awards. So each one of those startups have them. If you have a startup, please add them on the map, and then you can see a little bit the momentum and everything that has to do with your startup. So that's the idea. And the last thing to talk about is basically the report. There isn't that much to mention about the report because you're going to read it, so you can do it yourself. I'll just mention a few key insights about the report. If we look at the countries, you would see some interesting elements over here. You still see that United States is almost four times better than anything else per capita, which is pretty interesting. Then United Kingdom, you see United Kingdom and Israel are pretty close together. Then you have an additional tier of Canada. The first change this year is actually Singapore going up to fifth in the world and actually getting very, very close to Canada. So we're seeing a meteoric jump in Singapore, or in this case, in the expense of Sweden. Then you have Germany, France, and the Netherlands and Switzerland also have a good year. Pretty interesting to see that although the gap between the United States and everyone else is so big, you have quite a few ecosystems from Europe here. United Kingdom, Sweden, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Switzerland, 6 out of 10 are European. For all of those that think that Europe is done, it might be far behind, but it has a lot of potential. On the cities level, I'll just give you a few. Let me actually see if I can give you a few tips on the country level. If something big has happened, good year for Estonia, jumping 2. Also great year for India, going back into the top 20 at 19. India is becoming really a startup powerhouse. United Arab Emirates, very great, a good achievement, +5 at 23. This is a big, big jump that should be definitely celebrated. There are many other winners all across the board. Indonesia is one, for example, that jumped 5 spots. Turkey also jumped 5 spots. So there are many, many things that are happening also on the countries that are ranked lower. You can see some interesting good things happening in Sri Lanka, in Azerbaijan, and so on and so on. We also would like to congratulate the small country of Trinidad and Tobago, making it into the top 100 for the first time. As for the cities, interesting to say, you can see over here the total score gap between San Francisco and New York. We're talking almost 3 times. Until last year, every year this gap is narrowed. It used to be 5 times, and then it was 4 times, 3 times, 2.5 times. This year it's growing again to 2.8, which basically says that shows that San Francisco is recovering. The decline there has been stopped. Maybe it's because of AI that most of it is based in San Francisco. You can see that San Francisco is a league of its own. Then you have New York with a total score of 251, also a league of its own, very far away. Then you have relatively together London, Los Angeles, Boston, and Beijing. Those are the top 6, as we call them. And then you have a very, very big difference from the ones ranked below the top 6. Shanghai, Bangalore, Tel Aviv that increased 1 spot, Paris, New Delhi that had a great year. Singapore City also had a great year. Austin in the United States also making it into the top 20. Great year. Mumbai also +5, making it to the top 20. Seoul as well, number 21. So we see really good momentum in some of those ecosystems. There are 1,000 cities, so we don't have the time to go over them, but yeah, there are very interesting charts here. You can see also how those cities are changing their location during the year, the same for the country. So really interesting insight. We recommend to download it. I think the team has put a link to download the report on the chat, so you can feel free to use it. And that's it. I think we can move to the part of the presentations of the ecosystem. Once again, thanks a lot for the governments that are acting like startups, putting themselves out there, are not shy, are understanding the massive importance of the development of their ecosystem, and that's super, super nice to see. I think those are the locations that we all want to live in and build our startup in. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, Catherine, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Ellie, and thank you, Gers. Like Ellie said, and Gers also mentioned, the link to download the report is also on the chat, so feel free to click on it and find out the details of this year's report. You can also view the rankings on our website, startupblink.com. So we're now moving on to the next part of this event. You'll be hearing from 12 ecosystems for our afternoon session. I will just promote my colleagues. So Taman will also be helping with moderating this event. Hi, Taman.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to join you in this afternoon session. A few words about myself. I'm part of the business development and partnerships team, and my role mostly revolved around onboarding and welcoming partners for this global report that we are launching today. I had the pleasure to talk to many of the panelists that we are looking forward to welcoming today. The rest, I look forward to hearing more from their ecosystem insights. So very much looking forward to making these introductions.
Yes, thank you, Paman. So like Paman said, we will be hearing from ecosystems and governments all over the world, Asia, Europe, and the Americas, and also from Africa. Each presenter will have around 5 minutes to speak, and we will start it off. So for our first presenter and first ecosystem, we'll be hearing from the very interesting ecosystem of Kingston, Canada. We'll be listening to Norman, who is the Business Development Manager of Kingston Economic Development. Kingston is one of the ecosystems that we really admire. They're always pushing above their weight and really showing the strength of their ecosystem despite their small population. Some quick information about Kingston in our ranking. So Kingston this year is currently 9th in Canada, and industries where they're performing amazingly well is energy and environment and hardware and IoT. Hi, Norman. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. Hi, StartupBlink team.
Yes, the floor. Yes, yeah.
I should start now. Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Norman Sengimana, and I work from Kingston Economic Development. We do investment attraction and supporting local businesses. So if you are outside Canada or in a different city in Canada, and you like what we do or what you're going to see today, we would welcome you to get in touch and see how we can work together to bring your business to Kingston. So we have made a deliberate strategy. We call it the Integrated Economic Development Strategy for the city of Kingston. And what we have done is we have analyzed the resources in our ecosystem and all the assets we have, and we have deliberately targeted sustainable manufacturing and health innovation. Why? Because we believe that we can be able to compete among the best in the world in these two industries. And as you're going to see, our ecosystem is very well placed, and the StartupBlink results and rankings have been proving it year after year. And so we have the resources to be able to support a business owner or an entrepreneur from when you are exploring a potential business opportunity to while you are looking to exit from your business. If you've really done well, you've prepared your books of accounts very well, you understand the valuation of your company, and you feel like it's time to move on, we have the resources to be able to help you to get the value of your work and your investment into your company at that particular time, but also everything you need in between to be able to grow your company. So I will talk about two main startups, one in health innovations. Octane is a company that was built and established in Canada, and this company has created a proprietary technology that enables it to manufacture some selected human limbs, like human body's parts. So about 4 years ago, we saw a company from Switzerland, a global pharma company, come in and take a stake in this company, invest in the company. And now the company is also planning on how it can scale its technology globally. And as you can see from the CEO, he is saying that Kingston is a fantastic ecosystem. We do not only have the expertise, but we also have proprietary technologies, we have IP services, we have everything we have to be able to build, to help you build a company that is competitive from a global scale, a global perspective.
Norman, sorry, are you sharing screens because we don't see it at the moment?
Oh, you can't see it?
Yes.
Oh, I was sharing. Okay, let me do it again. How about now?
Yes, we see it. You can it just need to present so we can see it in full screen.
Can you see it now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I was talking about Octane, and should I start again or should I continue?
I think we can continue unless there's anything on the previous slides that you think would be important to share and visuals and
No, let me continue.
Yeah.
So I was talking about the story of Octane, and as you can see from the CEO, he himself is acknowledging how unique this ecosystem is from a health innovation or a health science company perspective. So we have the resources, we have the expertise, we have the IP, we have everything you need to be able to succeed in this particular industry. And then when it comes to sustainable manufacturing, we are talking about everything in the manufacturing space, including electric vehicles. This is a company that is less than 3 years old. It has just raised over $30 million. It was built from the ecosystem. It used all the resources we have in the ecosystem to be able to get to where it is. Most of the support that was used is primarily from 2 key ecosystem partners. We have the Green Center Canada, a company that is able to validate all the chemtech or chemical technologies claims and be able to establish required or necessary parameters to be able to prove that the technology works. And then we also have another ecosystem partner called KPM Accelerate. KPM Accelerate is also one of the key ecosystem partner that is really good at working out the what we call techno-economic analysis when it comes to chemical technologies and the commercialization of those technologies. So this is another example from those 2 deliberate strategic industries that we have selected as our key industries we want to compete with every other ecosystem in the world. There is a lot of success stories. This is another company in the sustainable manufacturing space that has just gotten $4.2 million funding from the Canadian government. This was, I think, very early this year, around February. And we are trying to really build a complete electric vehicle ecosystem in this community because we know the resources we have because we've seen what the rest of the world is doing. And so when you look at the Net Zero Coalition, we know very well that for a livable climate, net zero commitment must not just remain policies, fantastic PowerPoint slides, but they have to be translatable into actions. This is what we are trying to do in this ecosystem. And we know the future is on our side. We know the future is in our favor because of the work and the resources that we have because of the work we've done and the resources that we have in this ecosystem. So these are the key players we play with every day in the ecosystem. At the top, we have academic institutions. On the right side, we have Green Center Canada, which is a research center for chemical technologies. We have investors, Business Development Bank of Canada. We have other commercial banks in the ecosystem. We have Kindle, who are angel investors. We have Ontario Centre of Innovations. If you're looking for affordable and resources to support you hire new talent, we have the Keys Job Center, KPM Accelerate, Chemtech Accelerator, and really, really very well placed to do some fantastic work in the health innovations and sustainable manufacturing space. And so this is an example of a company that has gone through the entire ecosystem. that has maximized all the resources. And because we have an existing partnership with the Syracuse city in the US, in upstate New York, we were able to even help this company expand to the US through the Syracuse pathway, the third Canada Economic Development Corridor, the third US-Canada Economic Development Corridor between these two countries. And so if you're wondering where Kingston is located, we are located about 3 hours from Toronto, 3 hours from Montreal, 2 hours from Ottawa, 7 hours to 8 hours from New York and DC, US. So we really serve a very big population. And if you're looking at this city as a potential ecosystem to help you bring your company to life or to help you bring your entrepreneurship vision to life, please get in touch. Thank you so much, StartupBlink team. We are excited for the new ranking, and we know that you are also helping us to highlight who we are becoming and the work we are doing in this ecosystem. So we truly appreciate your support.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you for sharing those amazing stories. It's always inspiring to see the journey of the startups in the Kingston ecosystem and how they were able to really, use the help of the government and all the incentives that they can get in order to grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now we're going to stay in Americas, but we're going a bit to South America, and we will be hearing from Antonio Rios, who is the director of Idea Guanajuato. We will be listening to him speaking about the Guanajuato startup ecosystem. Guanajuato, the main city in Guanajuato is Leon, and it's currently 9th in Central America. It's 3rd in transportation, 3rd in food tech in Mexico, and also 4th in e-commerce and retail in Mexico. Hi, Antonio. How are you? Good morning.
Catherine, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation to participate in this important event.
Thank you for joining us, and we're very excited to hear more about the ecosystem.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Okay, in order to be respectful with the time of everyone, thank you very much, StartupBlink. Dear Ellie, David, we were delighted to have you in Guanajuato to discuss the current state of affairs here in Manufacture Valley. Thank you also to Catherine Calledo and Mahmoud Shamsi, who are part of your team. We are part of the state of Guanajuato, where the local ecosystem is recognized as the Manufacture Valley. Right now, Manufacture Valley is a public policy. It's a transition between the manufacture to manufacture, taking advantage of your mind, of your capacity of create, and your capacity to not just do things with your hands and also try to improve your environment with your ideas and with your knowledge. Our goal is to connect various resources such as universities, incubators, and chambers. We have also developed new spaces and strategies to promote innovation and entrepreneurship, including innovation gyms, hubs, and manufacturer nodes that are specific spaces that encourage and to nurture our entrepreneurs in different stages of their development. We must not overlook the core of our ecosystem, that is encouraging entrepreneurs to address social issues. To achieve this, we need a common and a special concept and a public policy. We need a common identity, and we utilize the concept of mind factor, focus on mind and our capability to work together. And this public policy focuses on how knowledge can drive solutions for society, the market, and the environment. Our public policy requires a shared identity and the connection between the 46 municipalities that we already have. Right now, Guanajuato, that is located at the center of Mexico, we have the first place in the generation of patent traits in Mexico. Our population is more or less 6.5 million inhabitants, and we have the most dynamic automotive cluster in Latin America. We have structured our work as a region, connecting capabilities of different locations and different actors in the way to facilitate paths for entrepreneurship. Our ecosystem bridges the gaps that separate cities and states. We are pleased that Guanajuato is represented right now in 4 cities, by 4 cities in the index of StartupBlink. We really feel very proud of this alliance and this support of StartupBlink guiding the development of our ecosystem, because we need a strategy in order to promote not just growing, it's also about developing your society and your ecosystem. This is a statement that our local government and our state regional government interest in promoting new solutions for society in areas such as agrotech, aerospace, health, commerce. Is the main focus of our startup this year. We received the recognition as rapidly growing Mexican ecosystem by StartupBlink, and it is important to note that this year we have advanced that more position in this important index. This is the result of hard work and collaboration between our members, like universities, government, and society, and we are open ecosystem to the world. Our governor, Mr. Diego Sinue, emphasized that we need more Guanajuato in the world and more world in Guanajuato. Welcome to Valle de la Manufactura, Manufacture Valley. And we are open always to establish connections and to establish alliances with you. See you in Guanajuato anytime you have the opportunity. Thank you very much for this space.
Thank you very much, Antonio. Yes, and as you said, it's very exciting to have more cities from Guanajuato now in the rankings, and hopefully we'll see more in the future. And we're always, we admire the efforts that your organization has been doing to make sure that we're improving the whole region's ecosystem. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you.
So we're going to stay a bit in South America, and we will be hearing more about the Bogota startup ecosystem from Juan David Castaño, who is the Vice President of Cámara Comercio de Bogotá. While we're waiting for Juan David to be promoted as a panelist, I'm going to share a few interesting information about Bogotá in this 2024 rankings. So Bogotá is currently the second ranked ecosystem in South America. Some key industries of Bogotá is transportation, where they rank 20th worldwide. Other industries where they excel in is food tech and also fintech. Hello, Juan David. Thank you for joining us. The floor is yours. You can share your screen if you have a presentation.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try. Please confirm. It works?
Yes, but it's not full screen at the moment.
Okay. Change the view.
It's on presentation view, so we don't see we see the notes.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it. How it works?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, good morning and good evening to everyone. It's an honor for me to be here today. I want to thank to StartupBlink, to Catherine for the invitation to share the evolution of our startup ecosystem here in Bogota. I want to extend a special hello to all the attendees from the different part of the world. And it's a pleasure to connect and to with this different diverse audition of the world. At the Bogota Chamber of Commerce, we firmly believe that the startups are the engines of development and prosperity of our country. That's why we made it our mission to help position Bogota as the leading, as Latin America capital of entrepreneurship and innovation. Bogota has made significant strides, climbing 2 places to rank 63 globally. And this evolution shows our city dynamics and evolving startup ecosystem. In South America, Bogota is leading force. We are not only the first place in Colombia. We're ranking second in the region. And also, as you mentioned, Catherine, we are top ranking in the world in different industry in fintechs and food techs and prop techs industry. And these achievements highlights our startups' capacity to compete globally. And we are really, really happy for these results in this ranking in this global startup ecosystem report in 2024. Bogota has seen a remarkable process in the regional startup ecosystem, particularly in South America. As you can see, we moved from 4th place in 2020, 2022 to the 2nd place in 2023 and 2024, surpassing cities like Buenos Aires, cities like Santiago, and trailing only by Sao Paulo. And we are really, really happy to retain this 2nd place in South America. And you can see also that globally, Bogota has been climbing to a startup ecosystem rankings due to concert effort by various organizations and governments, friends that support innovative companies in our city and in our country. I want to share with you also some results of the Colombian Tech Report 2024 that we launched 2 weeks ago. We mapped a total of 949 startups in Bogota that represent almost 20% of increase compared to the 2023. And in all Colombia, we have identified more than 1,720 startups in our country. And Bogota leads the startup ecosystem in Colombia, as I already mentioned, concentrating more than 55% of our country's startup. But also, Bogota is really important because it's the home of the 2 Colombian unicorns, of the 2 unicorns that we have in our country. Rappi, that is a delivery and fintech startup, and Avi, that is a prop tech startup that last year became a Colombian unicorn. A key finding of the Colombia Tech Report in 2024 is that the 72% of our startup here in Colombia operates on the B2B model, business to business model that reflects a clear trend towards offering technological solution and specialized services to other countries. Finding is an essential to consolidate in Bogota leadership in the startup ecosystem. Only in 2023, startups in our city raised $267 million in equity, accounting more or less 65% of all investment deals here in Colombia. As you can see in the presentation, the fintech is one of the most important industry for us, representing 20%, but also software as a service with 7% of our startups, sectors as a PropTech, EdTech, that show really interesting ecosystem here in Bogota. For end this presentation, I would like to invite you to participate in the new edition of the GoFest, the most important innovation and entrepreneurship festival in Colombia, that is going to take place in August 28, 29, and 30. Only in 2023, this event attracted more than 24,000 attendees, 151 participant startups, over than 180 speakers, more than 50 corporate partners. And for the 2024 edition, we expect to surpass this number and establish this festival as the epicenter of innovation and entrepreneurship in Latam. If you want more information, please write to this email. And the last thing that we want to share with you is in this moment we are building in our strategy to innovate, to promote innovation across the country. We have a really important project that is our campus of science, technology, and innovation. That with that campus, we expect to consolidate collaboration between the productive sector, the startups, the academy, the universities, and the public sector. And we expect to launch this campus in 2026. All you are invited to know more about this campus and to see Bogota as your enter port for Latin America region. Thank you again to StartupBlink for this invitation. Thank you for all the team. And we expect to see you in our GoFest, in our amazing city, in our amazing startup ecosystem here in Bogota. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Juan David. Thank you for sharing about Bogota and the amazing journey it has in the last couple of years in our rankings. And yes, as Juan David said, if you're interested to join the event, please reach out to their team, and they'll be happy to welcome you in Bogota. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Yes, so for our next presentation, we'll be staying in Colombia and we'll be hearing more about the Cali startup ecosystem from Maria Alejandra Diaz, who is the head of knowledge at the Cali Chamber of Commerce. While Aleja is being promoted, some quick information about Cali. So Cali is currently performing incredibly well in industries such as food tech, edtech, and fintech. Hi, Aleja, how are you?
Catherine.
Okay, yes, the floor is yours. You can share your screen if you like.
Thank you so much. I'll be sharing my screen right now. Let me know if you see it okay.
Yes, we see it, but it's, yeah, yes, perfect. It's full screen now.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Catherine, and thank you all the team from StartupBlink for this important space. I'm Maria Alejandra, as Catherine mentioned. I'm representing the Cali entrepreneurial ecosystem, and I work at the Cali Chamber of Commerce. To start this space, I would like to start with an expression that actually represents the work we do at the Cali Chamber of Commerce and all the ecosystem. And this is, we make things happen. This expression actually represents the passion that we work with the entrepreneurial ecosystem and all the ecosystem. We always give our best, our all, to work with ecosystem to make progress at the ecosystem, because we know that if they progress, the entrepreneurs, the businesses, if they progress, our region actually progress too. So in this space, I would like to highlight 4 key points about our ecosystem. And I'll start by saying that Cali is actually a uniquely city characterized by its vibrant culture, by welcoming people, rich biodiversity, and a strategic location. Cali's proximity to Buenaventura's, that's Colombia's main foreign trade port. It attracts over 200 multinationals in our region. And we also have a very important zone that's a tax-free zone called Zone America. And this is exclusive for tech companies. There they have many benefits that actually helps them to develop in the ecosystem. Also, the friendly, open, and collaborative spirit fosters a conducive environment for global connections among entrepreneurs, investors, and other key ecosystem players. And Cali's exceptional biodiversity has earned it the honor of hosting the COP16, and this is the United Nations most significant global biodiversity summit. It will be happening next October and November, so you're all welcome here. Our second key point is our people's entrepreneurial spirit. This is the disruptive initiatives that foster the local and Latin American entrepreneurial ecosystem and the ease of connecting. All of this makes Cali an ideal place to start a business. Here we have different events and initiatives that are led by different supporting institutions, accelerators, entrepreneurship centers, incubators that help the ecosystem. I would like to mention some of them. I'll start by mentioning Capital Summit. This is Latin America's premier venture capital investment attraction event. Here we have more than 2,000 participants, and we facilitate around 1,000 business meeting connections with investments, and there are opportunities worth 2.3 million available in capital. We also have Pollux. This is an angel investor network where we connect high impact ventures with venture capital entities. There have been more than 35 angel investors that have been actually trained, more than 200 startups that have been connected with this angel investments, and we have mobilized more than $1.3 million with the startups. There's also another initiative that's really important in the ecosystem, and it's Sugar Valley. This is our region's first venture building studio. It energizes the creation and consolidation of impact-driving startups. And we have the artificial intelligence hub and the innovation district that's actually led by local government in the region. And just a little bit about our entrepreneurial spirit. Cali has around 134 startups in the region. 80% of them operate in the B2B business model, and 40% of them are actually expanding their international presence. And an analysis of these startups actually shows that the entrepreneurial mindset is led by the adaptation to change, the exponential thinking, and the self-directed learning. Our third point is the collaboration. We know that we cannot work alone. We have to work together. And the results that we're seeing right now in our ecosystem represent this collaboration. The collaboration among stakeholders is at the heart of the strengthening of our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And just to mention one example, recognizing the value of collaboration, we work hand in hand on powerful ecosystem initiatives. For example, this year, at the Capital Summit, we joined forces with Colombia Tech Week to amplify efforts and attract more investors, more startups around the globe to meet our startups. And our fourth point is the result of our constant is the result of this collaboration and our constant dedication that has paved the way for today's remarkable international achievements in our ecosystem. So I'm actually thrilled to share that this year we have maintained our position as the third best ecosystem in Colombia and number 9 in Latin America. And to talk about some standout sectors, I would like to start by mentioning fintech, where we have raised in our 18th position place globally. And this is really important because not only in Cali, but in Colombia, as Juan from the Bogota Chamber of Commerce mentioned, fintech is a really, really important sector in our country, and we have different types of initiatives, like, for example, Colombia FinTech, where they have different programs and initiatives to support this sector especially. And also in South America, Cali ranks for the first time in the food tech sector, and we also highlight in the health tech and hardware sector. So Cali is actually ready and open to welcome everyone who wants to discover the incredible and potential and vibrant energy that our entrepreneurial ecosystem has. Here, I would like to mention again the Capital Summit. We have exciting events plans for this year, like the Capital Summit. This will be happening on September 3rd. So you're all welcomed here to visit Cali, to visit our country, and to be part of this entrepreneurial ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you, Aleja. Yes, so I'm sure anyone who would like to join the Capital Summit, please head to the websites that was shared. It will be a really great event for entrepreneurs. There's a lot of opportunities for everyone there. Thank you again, Aleja, and it's great to see you. Yeah, so I would like to welcome Fabian to introduce our next presenter.
Thank you very much, Catherine. So next, we don't go that far and we remain still in South America and move to Colombia's close neighbor, Ecuador. It gives me a great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to Sergio Flores, the president of Sede del Litoral from Guayaquil, Ecuador. As we introduce Sergio as a panelist, allow me to share some intriguing insights about Guayaquil ecosystem based on our rankings. Guayaquil stands as the second largest startup ecosystem in Ecuador, following the capital Quito. Remarkably, it has surged 87 positions in the global ranking this year and 5 positions in the regional ranking, now holding the 38th spot in South America. Being one of the emerging startup hubs in the region, we regularly anticipate gaining more insights from Sergio. So yeah, Sergio, we are looking forward to hearing your inputs about Guayaquil. Welcome on stage, and feel free to share a presentation if you have. I'm afraid you are muted. Okay, now we should be ready to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon for some. This is our first time that we're included in the ecosystem index, and thank you, StartupBlink, for including us. We are very interested in continuing this work with you and trying to be a good partner, okay, for developing. We live in Guayaquil. Guayaquil is a port. We belong to a special economic zone called Sede, Guayaquil. Guayaquil is located in the Pacific of Latin America. We have a population of about 3 million people, and we use the dollar as a currency, and that gave us some stability in Latin America. So the inflation is not too high due to the dollar. Guayaquil export about 90% of the goods that are going export in Ecuador. So we are the largest city in that sense. We have, for example, also the faster broadband internet in Ecuador for all business. So we are at Sede Litoral. Sede Litoral is a special economic zone. This special economic zone is a part of a public university, a technical university called SPOR. It's the best university, public university in Ecuador. It's a startup, really, because the university is interested in setting up an ecosystem for innovation. And that is the main goal of the Sede del Litoral. The ecosystem in Guayaquil, the innovation ecosystem in Guayaquil, you can see there. We have in software 77%, food and beverage industry, 50% fintech, 40% textile industry, 20%, and some others. Because our main exports are basically commodity goods like banana, shrimp. We are the leader exporting in the world in shrimp, flowers, minery, petroleum, coffee and cacao. So our main developing innovations are related to agro-industry and health and aquaculture. So our environment, Guayaquil innovation environment, we have 4 business incubators, I3 Lab that belongs to the university, to SPOR. Epico is a innovation company that belongs to the municipality, and so that means that we are working together, government, local government, university, and private sector. We have 2 free zones, DP World, that's in a port, and we, as a special economic zone that we call Sede Litoral. What we're doing in Guayaquil, we are mainly strengthening on the entrepreneurship culture. We are a smart city. We have a a very large Wi-Fi connection for all the city. Approximately 2 million people connect monthly to this free Wi-Fi connection. We have an integration, a very strong integration between the public, private, and academic organizations. And Sede Litoral is part of this, being part of the university, working with the private sector. We are developing a new startup groups using artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is one of the important tools that Guayaquil is using. We have in Guayaquil the most powerful NVIDIA computer for artificial intelligence in Latin America. And we are recognized as an institutional for business development. Because of our mainly export our commodities, our entrepreneurship and innovations are related to that. So we have 3 examples here of companies, startup companies that are working in that area. One is called Bioconversion, that's located at Sede Litoral. They work with a special fly called the black soldier and the larva of the black soldier, we use it as a protein for feeding animals. After a short time, that will be a protein also for feeding humans. The other company that we have at the Sede is called Easy Metering. Easy Metering is a company that's monitoring in energy. They produce equipment to monitor energy. The circuit boards are built in Taiwan, and here they develop all the software, all the intelligence for the boards, and the energy is controlled by telemetry. This system is being sold in Latin America, sold in Chile. They are starting to sell in Brazil, and they start also selling it in the United States. The third example that we have here is a company called Dynamics that works on monitoring the pools for shrimp in aquaculture. That's the 3 examples of the startup companies. Also, we have several startup companies that are working blockchain for banana, for shrimp, for the export, to use the traceability of the products. Guayaquil is becoming an ideal hub for technological manufacturing and nearshoring. Nearshoring because our location is very oriented to in the America, and is very convenient to export to the States. Our ecosystem includes cutting-edge research, as I was telling, on artificial intelligence, and we are a thriving community in sectors such as agro-industry and information technology. That's our main development. We are improving, as you mentioned, in the ranking, and we really expect to work as a city to develop more startups companies, and the environment that Guayaquil has is a very, very good environment for new companies, a good environment for multinational companies that want to do some production for nearshoring, for example, not only for Latin America, but also for the States. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sergio, for joining us today and for walking us through all the different activities that you are doing at Sede Litoral. And we look forward to collaborating with you towards the future. Next, we are moving from South America, and our journey leads us back to Europe and to another sunny destination, to Leira, Portugal. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage to Vitor Ferreira, General Manager of Startup Leira. As we introduce Vitor as a panelist, let me provide you some insights from the ecosystem of Leira based on our rankings. This year, Leira keeps holding the 5th position in the Portuguese startup ecosystem, showing a significant growth both in the global and in the regional rankings, and now securing a place within the top 200 locations within Western Europe. Some of the most significant industries in Leira are the hardware and IoT, edtech, software and data, but I'm sure that Vitor has a lot more insights to share. So Vitor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Simon. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Just let me set my timer to see if I can fulfill my time and talk a little bit about Leiria. So thank you for the presentation. I'll try to be brief. So Startup Leiria, we see it as one of the fastest growing ecosystems in Portugal, or the fastest growing ecosystem in Portugal. And the question is, why Leiria and where is Leiria? So we are, as was said, in the middle of Portugal, halfway between Lisbon and Porto. So we are a very central region. And also we've been growing a lot in the past few years as an entrepreneurial ecosystem. The country itself has been growing in the past few years, and Leiria has been growing a little bit more than the rest of the country, and we are now the 5th largest ecosystem in Portugal. We also rose a few positions this year, but we hope to climb a little bit more in the next few years. As I was saying, so Leiria is a small city between Porto and Lisbon. We are very central. We have this idea of a full stack region because this is one of the regions where you can do everything. We have like a big agri-tech sector. We have the biggest fishing port in Portugal, but then we have a very strong industrial sector also in our region that works in automotive value chains or aeronautics value chains. And of course, this is the ground for a lot of new startups to provide their solutions to other companies. So we also have this very strong IT sector in the region. So we call it the full stack region. For the ones that don't know where we are very close to Nazaré, so the land of the biggest waves in the world. It's 15 minutes by car from Leiria. So you can start your startup, you can get some funding, and then you can try not to die surfing 30-meter waves really near from us. So, and about our ecosystem and Startup Leiria, which is an incubator accelerator, mostly the main one in our region. We have 20 years of activity. Nowadays, we have more than 150 companies in our ecosystem, which created 1,100 jobs and raised 55 million of euros in 22-23. We cater 3 different buildings in the city of Leiria, and one of them is a social incubator because creating value, it's not only making businesses for profit, but it's also changing the world. 30% of our founders come from all around the world, United States, India, Brazil. A lot of people also from Russia, Ukraine. So we have a very international ecosystem. We host more than 40 events per year. And besides Leiria, we are in Ancião, Batalha, Alcanena, that are, and Alcobaça, which are nearby municipalities where we are also activating their ecosystem. We have some stars in our ecosystem. We have Bout, which is a smart boxing bag that improves your fitness with artificial intelligence and a camera. So they did the biggest seed series in the history of Portugal with 10 million euros last year. We have sound particles. So if you watched up from Avatar to Oppenheimer to Marvel movies, Star Wars, they do the software that is used for 3D sound. We have a lot of companies that work in insurtech, fintech. So mostly 80% of our companies are focused on IT, but a very broad IT that can go from agritech, because we have a test bed, a facility that tries to help small companies develop their own prototypes. So in agritech, and we go from agritech to fintech to edutech, a little bit of everything. So we are in that sense more or less agnostic. And we are a non-profit association with lots of associates, which is important for us. So we don't take equity. We live from our services and our European projects that we have all around Europe with different nationalities in Austria, Serbia, Poland, Czech Republic, Finland, England, Spain, Italy. So we have around a lot of projects going on with other ecosystems in Europe, and that's mainly one of our sources of revenue in Leiria. And in our associates, we have from big banks to local companies, to IT companies. And of course, as every other ecosystem, we have a lot of partners, because one of the things we do is connect people. And mainly our motto is the pursuit of happiness, help our founders, our partners, our stakeholders, our employees to be happy. And that's the motto of Startup Leiria. So thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Vitor. It was really great pleasure to have you and to hear more about everything that you are building at Startup Leiria. I especially enjoyed the picture with the 30 meters wave. So it looks like it's a great place.
A wall of
yeah.
Bye.
So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. And next, from Western Europe, we are moving now to Central Asia, to the bustling city of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage to Yamolidin Shaikov, head manager of investment attraction at the IT Park of Uzbekistan. As we are introducing Yamolidin as a panelist, let me share some insights about their ecosystem. Tashkent has seen a significant rise in our rankings this year, climbing 88 positions in the global ranking, and it's now the third most important hub in the Central Asia region. Its top performing industries include fintech, edtech, e-commerce, and retail. But to tell us more, we have Yamolidin here with us. So yeah, hello, Yamolidin, the stage is yours.
Good morning and good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Jamaluddin, and today I present IT Park Uzbekistan. It's a great honor to me to speak before you, so let's begin. The first thing that I would like to highlight is the human potential of Uzbekistan. As you know, Uzbekistan makes up half population of Central Asia. Moreover, the population of Uzbekistan is very young, with over 60% of population under the age of 30, making us a country with a very young population. For example, the average age in our country is 29. Additionally, more than 21 million people are currently considered to be a working age. With your permission, I will skip the rest of the data since our time is limited. Speaking about the human potential of our country and Tashkent also, I cannot fail to mention that Uzbekistan pays great attention to the education of its population, particularly in the IT field. Particularly in the IT field, currently there are 65 IT universities across the country, which annually graduate more than 25 IT specialists. In Uzbekistan, more than 100 nationalities live together in harmony, and the population is multilingual. For example, over 5 million people speak fluent English, and as you can see on this slide, it's not only English, it is widely spoken. Finally, there is a slide about the startup ecosystem of Uzbekistan and Tashkent, which is the area of my team and I'm working on. The startup ecosystem in our country is very young, having started in 2019. However, it has shown very good results and is growing rapidly. Here you can see the project that have attracted investment since the beginning of this year. These figures have already been updated, and we will soon update the indicators also. Since 2019, $133 million in venture investments have been attracted, not including Uzum, which has become the first IT unicorn in Uzbekistan, with a total valuation of over $1 billion, sorry. To develop the startup system, more than 700 events have been held, leading to the emergence of more than 400 promising startup projects. One of the largest competition for startups is the Present Tech Award with a total prize fund of $1 million. Currently, there are 5 local venture funds operating in Uzbekistan. This is very few, but in the last 6 months, there has been a great interest from banks in venture investments, and new venture funds are planned to be opened. In addition, we actively cooperate with foreign venture funds to attract investment to local startup projects. For example, from last cooperation is Domino Ventures, which is investing in Uzbek startups. By the end of this year, we are planning to open our own venture fund at IT Park with a starting capital of $5 million. And the next slide, I can say it's the most exciting part of my presentation. This slide shows the benefits that IT Park provides to its resident companies. We exempt IT companies from taxes, meaning IT companies do not pay any taxes except income tax, which is reduced from 12% to 7.5%, and tax on dividends, which is reduced to 5%. IT companies engaged in 22 permitted types of activities can become residents of IT Park. You can find the types of activities on our website. Interestingly, from this year, venture funds and accelerators can become residents of IT Park and can be free from taxes too. To support IT companies, several programs are in place, such as Zero Risk. With this program, a foreign IT company that want to open in Uzbekistan can get office space with equipment for up to 100 people for 1 year, absolutely free. We also cover up to 15% of employee salaries, cover expense for HR services, and provide training grants for up to $5,000 per employee. We also have the IT Visa program, which allows employees and founders of resident companies who are not citizens of Uzbekistan to obtain a visa for 3 years. This visa provides the same condition and same permission as for citizens of Republic of Uzbekistan, for you and for your family. There is some numbers. Now we have more than 2,000 IT companies as a resident. And I see that time is up. That's all, I think. Lastly, can I say the last word? We're planning to open international financial center in Uzbekistan to break the restrictions that working now that limit the growing IT sector in Uzbekistan. And from the start of the next year, there will be the common law
and everything will be good. That's all for now. Thank you very much for your attention. You can scan QR code and get more information about the IT Park and our ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yamoluddin, for sharing with us all the interesting initiatives that you are launching in the IT Park and all the incentives that your government is launching to support entrepreneurship. What really stuck with me is how young your population currently is, and this is especially a great ingredient that will pull up your ecosystem for success towards the future. Also, what was very striking is how multilingual your country is with 10 different widely spoken languages. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us and looking forward to more collaboration with you towards the future.
Thank you.
Next, we are departing from Central Asia, and our journey this time takes us up to Eastern Europe to the vibrant city of Lviv, Ukraine. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome to the stage to Yuri Lomikovsky, project manager of Lviv City Institute. As we introduce Yuri as a panelist, let me share with you a few insights about Lviv's ecosystem. Lviv, Ukraine is Ukraine's second largest startup ecosystem and has seen a remarkable growth in our ranking this year, climbing 10 spots in the regional ranking, and it's now the 28th biggest ecosystem in Eastern Europe, and has also climbed the impressive 94 spots in the global ranking. Among the key industries are the software and data, and also edtech. And we are looking forward to hearing more from Yuri. So welcome on stage, Yuri.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure to have an opportunity to speak to you today and present the Lviv startup ecosystem on behalf of the Lviv City Council and Lviv City Institute. It's a great pleasure that we, despite the full-scale invasion we have in Ukraine currently, we can grow our ecosystem and have better results. And therefore, let's get a little bit more acquainted with Lviv. Lviv is an international innovation hub. We are located in the western part of Ukraine, which is much more safer than other cities. And we consider us an international hub in lots of different aspects. We are the winner of the title of European Youth Capital 2025. We earned third place in the competition European Innovation Capital 2023 this year. We have also great results as 10 smart locations of the future by Financial Times, and the second place in the rank Emerging Europe 2020 in terms of economic potential. The development of startup ecosystem is a strategic priority for the Lviv City Council. So we have different strategies that are acknowledging the important role of startups, including the Lviv development strategy, the breakthrough strategy, and the integrated urban development concept. But as well, we focus on very practical steps, which are in our local programs. So we stimulate artificial intelligence. We have programs to support dual-use innovations, including UAVs, UGVs, and other dual-use products by voucher programs and financial support. We also have the program to develop the technological hardware industry and program to support entrepreneurship in general, because we believe that all those stimulus on the local level are very important to develop the innovation ecosystem in general. So with the brief summary, we have almost 600 IT companies and 160 startups, with also 48 business communities, more than 30 universities, IT academies. We have also lots of clusters, R&D centers, incubators, and I will speak about all that soon, because we believe that only those quadruple helix model is the one that makes Lviv one of the best innovation ecosystem in Ukraine. So the IT industry, which is constantly growing, is an important part of our economy locally, and of course, it is great foundations for the development of product startups later on. And we have in Ukraine one of the biggest software IT companies, including SoftServe, Intelis, Alex, and X, and other. As well, we are the second startup ecosystem in Ukraine with a concentration of almost 10% of all startups in Ukraine. And we have the 397th place in the world according to the last startup ecosystem report published soon. So one of the best examples of our local startups are Skyron, the digital solutions to create digital prototypes of cultural heritage, the X-Draft, the AI solutions for drafting legal documents, the Noti AI, also the AI solutions that creates the summaries of to-do lists after the meetings for more efficient jobs. So there are lots of different startups and solutions in different spheres, and we are proud of them being created here in Lviv and promoted also. We also have the more than 12 clusters in different fields, starting from IT and hardware to defense, medical businesses, fashion, biotechnologies, and furniture. And they are important organizations to boost innovations. And there are also a lot of spin-offs of mutual companies, because we have more than 450 members of all those clusters. And the spin-offs are great startups that are boosting and supporting the clusters members with the necessary services they need to have the full line of production localized in Lviv. Additionally, we have lots of foreign R&D offices, more than 15 from different countries, 40% of which belong to the US companies, and 47% of which are located only in Lviv, which is also the great place to boost human capital and also the opportunity to develop startups. Ukraine has very high level of human development index, and that's of course partially because of our good higher education system. We have more than 13 universities, and the 6 biggest of them are presented here with the total number of more than 1,500 students each year, with great capacity to produce human labor basically in all necessary management and technical spheres, including engineering, management, law, and other spheres. We also have several support organizations. Here we have 3 accelerators programs. So one is Startup Depot Unicorn Me program for pre-seed startups, and of course we also have the more advanced program from the Center for Entrepreneurship Accelerator and the program for students startups from Desktop Top School. We also have 2 investment funds. One is the Angel One, which is mostly focused on fintech, SaaS, tech, AI, and now military tech, as well as we have investor community Lviv Tech Angels, which is a spin-off Lviv IT cluster and is focusing on IT products and supporting them. We also have lots of innovation locations, co-working spaces, and currently we are developing 3 prototyping centers in Lviv to cover all of the products, from TRL 1 to TRL 9 with production facility, and that's what we also think is crucial to have a great ecosystem in our city. So to make a long story short, what we are focusing now, we are looking into the most promising technologies, including robotics, Internet of Things, electronics, artificial intelligence, and VR, to develop cool, important startups in the several spheres, but with a primary focus on military tech and cybersecurity, because of the ongoing war in Ukraine, as well as medtech, edtech, aerospace, and other industries that could provide the fast recovery of Ukraine after the victory. And therefore, we are looking to any partners who are interested in innovating together, and we as Lviv City Council are open to any opportunities and would be eager to invite you to our city and discuss any potential opportunities to cooperate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yuri. It was really a pleasure to have you today with us and for sharing such a remarkable set of activities that you are bringing up, even in the most of the challenging environment possible. So really remarkable achievements, which is also highlighted in our rankings this year. And we very much look forward to collaborating with you towards the future. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
And now we are departing from the Eastern European region, and our journey is leading us to the southwest coast of Africa, to the beautiful country of Namibia. It is a great pleasure to welcome on stage to Yolanda Kalenga, the Chief Legal Officer of the Office of the Attorney General of Namibia, and also to Auri Evokari, Ecosystem Enabler and Academic from Namibia. As we are introducing them as panelists, let me share with you a few insights about the Namibian ecosystem. Namibia has climbed one position in the global ranking, and it now stands as the second most significant startup ecosystem in the South African region. Notably, its capital, Windhoek, has achieved an impressive growth and is climbing 35th position. The key emerging sector in the country is the energy and the environment, but we are looking forward to hearing more from our distinguished guests from Namibia. So Yolanda and Auri, good afternoon, and the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, thank you. I would like to perhaps give Auri the opportunity to go first, and then I'll follow with the conclusion. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon from my side. My name is Auri Evokari, and I am going to be sharing my screen just here. Just like to confirm that you can see the size, the screen that I'm sharing.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, wonderful. I'm here to represent very, very excitedly the Namibia's National Investment Development Board, the NIPDB, who has graciously invited me to share from my recent qualitative research on the Windhoek startup ecosystem. So I'll take the first couple of minutes, and then Yolanda will be sharing more about the policy framework and the legal framework. So essentially what I'd like to share is 3 points in terms of the startup ecosystem in Windhoek. We can in many ways, many regards, share that this is an ecosystem in flux, whereas we had two very distinct players in the ecosystem two years ago, supporting the startups, especially in the early stage. Both of those have since then ceased their operations, but even as many as 3 new actors have entered the stage last year with hubs such as Basecamp Business Incubator, CC Hub Namibia, and Accelera Namibia making entry to support the early stage tech startups in this land of the brave. Meanwhile, also when it comes to startups and startups raising investment, we are seeing some kind of fluctuation there happening with the leading startups such as Jabu or Linkwise raising investments with great success a couple of years ago for the first time in the case of Jabu, a Y Combinator backed startup. And then last year we unfortunately didn't see similar success. However, there is great work and effort from government to the grassroots level operators to really support the early stage startups with more consistent services for the birth and growth of these ventures. And we can very much say that the startup ecosystem currently is fairly well developed to serve early stage startups. Everything from registration of business to intellectual property laws to building your business and its team through acceleration or incubation services. Namibian startups do have a much better chance at finding suitable services now than they did, for instance, 5 years ago. This ecosystem is definitely growing rapidly and changing quickly as in the process. But it has to be mentioned in honesty that the ecosystem still is to develop to meet the needs of later stage startups, most of whom are able to raise investment through their international connections, in which the NIPDB definitely plays a great role in market access, soft lending, and connections to and exposures to foreign markets. I wanted to also note on, just in light of the Uzbekistani presentation earlier, thank you very much for that. We also enjoy a young population of 70% of the population being under the age of 35. And in Namibia, we are definitely noticing also the stark youth unemployment, where the entrepreneurship can be a great solution. And that's where the efforts are definitely being targeted. I would like to thank you on my behalf and pass the microphone to Ms. Kalenga. Should you want to read more about the qualitative insights into the Windhoek entrepreneurship ecosystem, I invite you to check out my website for the recent research findings. But thank you very much on my behalf.
Thank you, Auri. Very detailed presentation. Well, considering that I only have less than 40 seconds left before the 5-minute mark is up, I would perhaps like to note that government has made increased efforts to recognize startups as part of the economic development framework of Namibia. And this is captured in the aspirations of the National Informal Economy, Startups and Economic Development Policy, which is under the auspices of the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade. It is a key policy pronouncement because for the very first time, government is backing its will to create regional hubs and accelerators to really foster the importance of innovation. And considering that my time is up, I would have loved to take up this conversation a little bit further. But if the opportunity exists, I hope that we can have this conversation so that I could really do a bit of a deep dive to give StartupBlink a deep look into some of the aspirations that government is looking at to support the facilitation of innovation in Namibia. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Yolanda and Auri, and especially for being very respectful with our time today. It was really insightful to hear the interesting initiatives that you are launching also from a legislative perspective. And I very much look forward to diving deeper into it and to potential collaborations towards the future. And it is especially remarkable also, just like in the Uzbekistan case, the young population of your country, which certainly will set you up towards the future. So thank you very much once again, and have a great afternoon.
You too. Pleasure. Bye.
Thank you. And next, we are departing now from the Southern Africa region, and our journey takes us north to Southern Europe, to the vibrant city of Milan, Italy. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage to Carola Cantalupi, responsible for public and European affairs and partnerships at Innovap. As we introduce Carola as a panelist, hereby I would like to share a few insights about the Italian ecosystem based on our rankings this year. Italy has climbed 2 spots in this year's global ranking, and it now stands at the 28th position. Milan emerges as the top performing Italian city, rising 9 spots to the 57th position in the global ranking, while there are another 32 Italian cities that are also ranked, including 8 of them which are new additions to our ranking. This is a remarkable success, and we are delighted to have Carola to provide us with some further insights. So good afternoon, Carola, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Plum, and thank you all. And it's a pleasure to be with you here today. And I'm sharing my screen in order to share the presentation. One second, please. Okay.
Yes. Now we
Tell me if you can see it. Okay, I think you can see it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. So, well, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's an honor, as I repeated before, being with you all today, and I'm delighted to provide further exposure to our Italian ecosystem in order to highlight its growth. But first, let me spend a few words towards Plamen and StartupBlink staff for the great job they did. And actually, StartupBlink has once again been confirmed to be a significant source of information with regard to the development of the startup ecosystem worldwide. So thank you very much. But now let's delve into details. Maybe let's introduce something about Innovap I work for. Actually, Innovap is the Italian non-profit and super partner association which represents and promotes the Italian entrepreneurial ecosystem. Nowadays, we gather more than 1,500 members, which are organized into 5 associations. Actually, as you can see from the slide, we collect many actors which revolves around the ecosystem. Innovative ecosystem like startup seed, scale-ups, SMEs, enablers, innovation centers, so all the incubators, accelerators, scientific and technology parks, and also corporates who are focused on open innovation, corporate venture capital. What we do, we try to actually represent the Italian ecosystem, and we try to work with a local stakeholder in order to strengthen a real development and a competitiveness of the Italian ecosystem, and not only at national but also at the international level. And we try to do that through 3 main activities like advocacy. So we attend the parliamentary hearings, the ministerial discussions. We draft position papers in order to guide the public debate on innovative ecosystem issues. Through networking, so we organize and manage different events in order to shed a light on the Italian ecosystem, and also through knowledge, because we promote with important partners observatories, reports, and webinars in order to share knowledge about Italian ecosystem. But let's delve into details about what's occurring over the last years in the Italian ecosystem. Actually,
Carola, sorry, excuse
yes.
me. Could you fix your camera a bit because we don't see you that well?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
perfect. Thank you. Yes, it's great.
Yes,
Thank
sorry.
you. No
Okay,
problem.
sorry. So I was saying that for the third consecutive year, over 1 billion in VC venture capital investments has been surpassed. There was a contraction compared to 2022 due to a reduction in the number of deals, a slight increase in the average value of operation, and due to a less significance of mega and large deals. But despite this, the decline was more contained compared to the European average. And as you can see from this slide, we have a clear idea of what occurred in 2022 in respect then to 2023. A second factor which contributed to the development of the Italian ecosystem last year has been the average increase on in pre-seed and seed valuation. Actually, Italy is the only European country where, despite a contraction due to fewer operations, there has been a clear increase in valuations. Actually, investments in the country reached 1 billion euros, with a decrease mainly due to the decline in the number of deals. Although the average value of operations saw a slight increase equal to plus than 5%. Furthermore, there was a strong growth in the number of pre-seed rounds, like 92 in 2023 compared to the 55 in 2022. And in the first quarter, for example, of 2024, pre-seed and seed rounds accounted for 68% of the local round, primarily due to the investment activities of accelerators. And according to IAG index, the average size of pre-seed rounds is 800,000 euros, up 20% compared to 2022. The average size of seed rounds is more than 2 million euros, up 50% compared to 2022. And as the size of the rounds increased, the valuation of the companies increased accordingly. Regarding pre-money valuations, an increase is noted despite the lower number of rounds in general. The third factor which contributed to the development of the Italian ecosystem last year was about the fact that there has been an increase in interest from international funds towards Italy. Actually, in the past 4 years, 26% of rounds amounting to more than 1 million involved at least one international investor. The percentage rises to 55% in more than 10 millions rounds, millions of euros in rounds, and to 85% in more than 30 millions of euros in rounds, confirming a correlation between round size and the participation of foreign investors. This trend can also be explained by the smaller average size of the Italian venture capital funds and a very limited number of national funds focused on the late stage investments. But there is room to grow. There is still hope. Actually, despite this, we know that there is still exists an important gap between international competitors, in particular within the European region. But many data, many national and also international data show that Italy's potential rate of increase is higher than its European counterparts. And furthermore, the Italian startup ecosystem has continuously proven to be resilient and able to respond to specific political and economic challenges that we all know very well over the last years. We have still hope, also thanks to the new plan of the CDP Venture Capital Plan, which is a national fund, which is extremely important for our ecosystem, because the new plan is aimed at allocating up to 8 billion of euros in 2028, actually in support of startups and scale-ups and SMEs in Italy. So our highest ambition is that Italy becomes a real startup nation, which is able to strengthen its competitiveness and promote qualified employment at international level. That's all. I would thank you again for this important partnership, and that's all. Thank you, Plamen.
Thank you very much, Carola, for making the time and joining us today and presenting the Italian ecosystem. It's especially remarkable to witness that in spite of what we are seeing with the investment crunch everywhere around the world towards early stage startup ventures, it's remarkable to see that you have kept your valuations growing in Italy. And thank you very much again for presenting all the other factors that led to the growth of your ecosystem. And thank you very much for joining us today. And now we are departing from Southern Europe, and our journey takes us to South America, to the vibrant city of Caracas, Venezuela. It is my pleasure to welcome on stage to Sandy Gomez, the lead project coordinator at Emprendetech. As we introduce Sandy as a panelist, let me share with you a few insights about the Venezuelan ecosystem. Venezuela holds the 10th position in the South American regional ranking, with the capital city Caracas emerging as its top ecosystem, climbing the impressive 22 positions in the global ranking this year. Among the key startup industries in Venezuela are the e-commerce and retail, the software and data, but we have Sandy with us today to share with us more. Good morning, Sandy, and the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's amazing. Just let me start sharing. Hi, everyone. How are you? Thanks for having me, Plum and Catherine. It's very exciting. I have had an amazing time with you, listening the progress of all the ecosystems that you are featuring today. Also excited to share what we have been doing in Caracas. Just let me share my screen. Give me a second, please. Okay, so we have, this is Emprendetec. Emprendetec is an initiative of IDB Lab and IESA. IESA is the top business school in Caracas with more than 20 years working towards promote entrepreneurship and leadership among Venezuelan professionals. I am also a alumni of this institution, so for me this is like double exciting, right, to be here presenting this to you. When we conceive Emprendetec as a project to share with our partner IDB Lab, we thought that for an ecosystem like the Venezuelan ecosystem, we needed like a lot of support, a lot of resources. I have been listening to the other panelists that you have, and I feel a little bit envious. Is like what I mean is, in Venezuela right now we don't have any kind of public sector or government support. So all initiatives related to strengthening the entrepreneurial ecosystem are private initiatives, but it is not, it's not compatible the amount of resources that you have when you are a government versus the amount of resources that you have when you are a private actor. But anyway, we went for the most ambitious goals. So we thought about 2 training programs for entrepreneurs. We like to recruit entrepreneurs not as individuals, but instead we like to recruit entrepreneurial teams. So we receive them in a first stage that we call pre-incubation. It takes 3 months to complete the training. The best performers, the startups or initiatives with the best performance, they are invited to join to an incubation and acceleration program run by us. This is the second stage of the program. And then we have an effort related to strengthening networks. Venezuela, as probably some of you may have heard, is a country with a very important amount of citizens living abroad. So I feel, and I know because I have tested it, that we have a lot of assets around the world in terms of human talent, of brilliant people that is not living in Venezuela, and we want to add them to the efforts of Emprendetec through networking events and certain communities that we are building. Also, we expect that these communities develop into something that can start closing the gap for our venture capital industry, because it's really, our ecosystem is early stage and our venture capital industry is even earlier, right? So that's like a snapshot of the general project. Then we have, these are our results for 2023. We ran 2 editions, 2 cohorts of the pre-incubation program. We are very focused in helping or supporting startups with female representation, with young representation. We try to recruit people that is between 18 and 35 years old. Many of them, for reasons related to the stage of the economy, are not living in Venezuela. So again, we have a very important focus on diaspora or citizens not living in Venezuela. But as Emprendetec is focused in helping startups with solutions, tech-enabled solutions, for us it's really easy to conceive a program like this, in which any product that they develop in the future can be, delivered or distributed by internet or by a mobile application or any software. So some of at the end of the 3 months training, we select the best performers, right? So during the last year, we ended up with almost 40, 45 initiatives that completed the training, and we invited them to a demo day. The demo day is this space in which they start receiving feedback from people that is not in the day-to-day of the program. So we have a very broad range of initiatives that achieve this date, the goal to present, or the achievement of present in this demo day. But some of them are already companies, incorporated as companies, and some of them no. We don't care if they are not incorporated at that point, but we understand that that may be an obstacle if they try to raise money. Again, Venezuela is not right now a place in which you have like a lot of capital to fund initiatives, but we are we try to be very empathetic in that they need to get a vehicle, right? It's like a legal company that can receive funding and distribute shares. But we understand that part of our job is make that happen, because it also means it gives you a signal about the development of the level of maturity of the ecosystem. So that's what that we have in terms of legal status, that is, the company is incorporated or not incorporated. And we also have some things that did the job before joining the pre-incubation program, and they started monetizing something. So they enter the program because they want to level up their tech skills and business planning skills. That is one of the top value addeds of ESL, right? Regarding the second component, incubation and acceleration, we use this was very fast. We just finished our first cohort on April, and we have some very good examples of performance, including this initiative that I am showing you in my screen, related to clean tech, logistics, and silver economy. I can provide more details if you want. You can contact me via LinkedIn if you want to do like further questions or share learnings about this. This is something that the StartupBlink teams knows very well, because we have shared with them all the details about how went our first cohort. And during 2024, we are going to be working hard to promote the networks of for the local entrepreneurs interacting with the Venezuelan entrepreneurs living abroad, and also building on the funding options. We would like to think that the next year, if you invite me again, guys, I will be talking about VC in Venezuela. We understand that we have some obstacles to overcome, but we are also inspired by the achievements that we have done to this date. So thank you very much for your time. I understand that we already ran out of time for the Caracas snapshot. So thank you for having me and for your attention.
Thank you very much, Sandy, for this really energetic presentation, and for walking us through the different components that are important for you in the development of the Venezuelan startup ecosystem. For me, it was really especially interesting the way that you are trying to involve the big diaspora of Venezuelan citizens that you have spread all around the world. So this is definitely going to play an important role in the future of you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you very much once again, and enjoy your day, Sandy.
Thank you.
And now returning to Europe, it's time to explore a fascinating city that is spanning across 2 continents. I'm talking about Istanbul, and it is a great pleasure to welcome on stage to Ahmet Karakuş, an expert from the Istanbul Development Agency. As we are introducing Ahmet as a panelist, allow me to share a few insights about the Turkish ecosystem. Turkey has witnessed a really remarkable growth in the rankings this year, both in the national and also on a global level, climbing 3 positions on a regional and 5 positions on a global level. Istanbul, the second most significant hub in Eastern Europe, has also ascended globally, and it now stands at the 51st position in the ranking. And there are 4 other Turkish cities that are also represented in our global index this year. Istanbul startups particularly excel in the e-commerce and retail area, but we have Ahmet, who is for sure going to provide to us more valuable insights. So good afternoon, Ahmet, and the stage is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity. And let me share my screen.
Yes, please. Yes, we can see it.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmet Karakuş. I work for Istanbul Development Agency as an investment and startup specialist. And I am happy to be with you to introduce Istanbul startup ecosystem. Here is the outline of my presentation under 4 topics. And let me begin with introducing Istanbul Development Agency. We are basically a local public institution building and supporting Istanbul startup ecosystem. As a development agency, we have 3 basic duties, which are the planning and coordination, financial and technical support, and investment support and promotion. Apart from entrepreneurship, we have 3 other focus areas, and these are innovation and technology, culture and creative industries, social development and talent. We have developed a comprehensive entrepreneurship program, and I will give details about it in the following slides. We have prepared a strategy and action plan, which is called Start Istanbul, with our stakeholders. And it aims to make Istanbul one of the top 30 entrepreneurship centers in the world. And for this goal, we identified 39 actions under 5 main axes, as you can see on the right. And we prepare reports to analyze and improve Istanbul's entrepreneurship ecosystem and its potential. You can see some of the reports on the slide. For example, we prepared a report that examines startup visa practices of other countries and proposed a startup visa model for Turkey. And based on that report, our national authorities are about to launch Turkey Tech Visa. We build and support a strong startup ecosystem in Istanbul. So far, we have enabled over 100 projects for our ecosystem. And we funded quite a significant number of incubation centers and acceleration programs in Istanbul. You can see some good examples on the slide. And by these efforts, we aim to create a dynamic and supportive ecosystem. On this slide, you can see 3 major successful entrepreneurship centers initiated by our main partners with our support. Just to mention, among them, Istanbul Technical University SEED has been awarded as the world's best university-affiliated incubation center. We have provided grants to more than 1,000 projects in all our priority areas. And we have experienced another support tool to improve availability of risk finance for our startups. We started to invest in venture capital funds. Through our fund of funds, we invested in 10 VCs. Actually, it's a very special learning experience for us as a development agency and as a public institution. Recently, we attended with our startups and partners in global tech events, such as CES in Las Vegas, Web Summit in Lisbon, Slash and Web Summit Qatar in Doha. And we are about to launch a call to take our startups and partners to these events again. In the following slides, I would like to outline how our startup ecosystem has grown and performed with contribution of these efforts. As you can see, our startup ecosystem began to develop from 2008 onwards. By 2020, our ecosystem has flourished to accommodate many successful investors and supporting organizations. And we are proud of having contributed to our partners' performance since our foundation in 2008. And on this slide, you can see some remarkable outcomes of our joint efforts with partners. Our ecosystem has very successful exits in recent years. We partner with global and local startup data platforms. We cooperate with StartupBlink and Startup Genome at global scale. Istanbul has improved its position tremendously over the years, from a rank of 18th in 2020 to 51st in 2024. And Istanbul is ranking 7th worldwide and 2nd in Europe in gaming industry. In terms of investment deal numbers and sizes, gaming, AI, big data, and fintech are the strong subsectors of Istanbul startup ecosystem. Our entrepreneurship ecosystem has produced several success stories, including 7 unicorns in various sectors, such as gaming, e-commerce, finance, delivery, and marketing. With these unicorns, Turkey showcases its ability to foster innovation and scale globally competitive companies. The following slides will outline some reasons to start and invest in Istanbul. Istanbul has a strategic location and is a gateway to Eastern Europe, Central Asia, Middle East, and Africa. Turkish Airlines, flying to most countries worldwide, provide connection to 1.6 billion people and around $30 trillion market within 4 hours of flight. And Istanbul has a population of 16 million with a remarkable 20% of youth population ratio. Istanbul has around 6 universities and 1 million university students, several technoparks, free coding schools, and supportive programs. Istanbul accounts for approximately 1/3 of Turkey's economic output. And moreover, Istanbul is home to many regional headquarters of multinational companies. And additionally, Istanbul has the largest startup ecosystem in Turkey with the highest number of startups. And Istanbul is one of the best ecosystem in Europe for startups to find early stage funds. And you can see many of the support organizations, angel investor networks, venture capital funds, and crowdfunding platforms in Istanbul. And Istanbul has many successful startup events, providing opportunities for entrepreneurs, investors, industry experts, and potential partners. You see some examples of them on the slides. And entrepreneurs in Istanbul has access to the top-tier accelerators and incubators. I have already mentioned some of them. And that's all in my presentation, and thank you for listening to me. And thank you very much again for providing this opportunity to us.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for joining us today and for letting us know more about everything that Istanbul Development Agency is launching as initiatives, and also for highlighting the ingredients that allowed your ecosystem to grow in such a remarkable pace in the recent years. And we look forward to collaborating with you towards the future. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to invite back on stage to Catherine, who is going to introduce to our next speaker.
Yes, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you again. We're now traveling all the way back to Southern Europe, and we'll be listening about the amazing ecosystem of the Catalonia ecosystems, particularly Barcelona. We'll be hearing from Oriol Sanz, who is the Senior Startups Manager of Axio. While we're promoting Oriol, some insights about Barcelona this year. Barcelona is currently number 5 in the EU. Some amazing industries that they have. They're 12th in the world in food tech. and they're also 16th in social and leisure. They're first in Spain for all of those three industries that I mentioned, and they're also first in Spain. Yes. Hi, Oriol. If you're in the crowd, please raise your hand. I think the team is also promoting you. Hi, Oriol.
Hello, Catherine. Hello, how are
Nice
you
to see
doing?
you again. Good, good. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine. And so happy for being here. I'm gonna be brief and painful, okay, for all of you. So hi from Barcelona, which is the capital city of Catalonia and one of the main startups hub in Southern Europe. At Axio, we promote having more scale-ups. That's our goal, and we support startups in accessing funding. We support business angels network. We support pitch competitions. We also have a co-investment scheme for deep tech companies that co-invest with business angels or venture capital funds. And we also organize one-to-one meetings with like 86 investors and like more than 100 startups during one of the events that happens in Barcelona, which is called Tech Spirit Barcelona, organized by Barcelona Tech City, which is the association of startups in the city. We also promote access to markets. We consider that those startups need to sell. Selling is a must. It was in the past, and now it's more mandatory than ever due to the funding grants that happened last year. But now, at least in Barcelona, we're gathering or gaining traction in terms of funding rounds. We're starting to have some mega rounds, which is good for the ecosystem. And finally, we help startups in accessing knowledge and networks with our network of mentors or our events that we do to promote sharing experiences. So we're very happy of being the 38th ecosystem in the world, having gained 2 positions from last year. Things that we can say about the ecosystem is that we have more than 2,000 startups, local and international ones that are located in Barcelona. One thing that I would like to underline is that 24% of those workers from those startups are of international origin, while the 16% of those founders comes also from abroad, which is just a sign that we are kind of attracting international founders. Another thing that I would like to underline is that has been more than a year of the implementation of the first startups law in Spain, which that covers things like classification of companies, linked to fiscal incentives, but also change the way that stock options were taxed. So that we have to see the effects, but at least there are some movement on that. Another thing that I would like to outline is that there are being new hubs, new life sciences hubs in the center of Barcelona, a new social or impact hub next to the beach and the port of Barcelona, led by Norsken Foundation, the third one that they have implemented after Stockholm and Kigali. It's a place for social impact companies. And then also before summer, there would be the launch of a fintech hub in the ancient stock house of the stock market in Barcelona, and it will be managed by a private company. So finally, I hope that we can meet during one of the main international events that take place in the city, Integrated Systems Europe, related to media companies that wants to increase its focus on startups, at the Mobile World Congress and the 4 years from now event that gathers the local and international startup community, or for example, the IoT solutions or the Smart City Congress that it's going to happen in the fall. So we can meet there, or we can meet in the international missions that we're organized for startups that could be in Web Summit in Lisbon, and can be in Slash in Stockholm, or it can be in Sweet Singapore. So we're happy for this, Catherine and Plamen, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ario. Thank you for sharing all those opportunities, and congratulations again to Barcelona for being 5th in the EU this year. It's all thanks to all the work that your organization has done, and also to the amazing ecosystem. So thank you, and I hope you have a great day. So yeah, Barcelona was our last ecosystem. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thank you for all the ecosystem developers that have shared their ecosystems, talk about the initiatives that they have. Congratulations to all of them for really leading the ecosystem into being what it is now. Again, if you haven't downloaded the report, please, you can download it on the link that I will be sharing right now on chat. If you're a startup and your startup is not yet on the map, you can look and add yourself on startupblink.com. We have a new feature where we actually give scores and rankings also to startups. So it could be interesting to find out how your startup fares against comparable startups in your ecosystem or in your region. You can also connect with us on our socials that I'm pasting now. And thank you, everyone. Glad to have you here in celebrating this wonderful report. Have
Thank
a
you very
great day.
much. Thank you very much on my side as well, especially to all the ecosystem developers that joined us today in sharing insights about what they are building, and also to the audience that stayed with us until the very end. And looking forward to having more productive conversations with all of you. Have a great rest of the day.